Yes, okay, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are once again as usual, and we are live on Kazo Television with our wonderful program. And remember, all of this is brought to you by Global Leadership Empowerment. Like I told you, you can go to YouTube and you subscribe to our Kazo Television account, and you also hit the notifications button so we can keep you updated with everything that we are always doing. And that's it. Today I am not alone in the studios. I am with this wonderful lady, and I will give her an opportunity to introduce herself. My name is Muchungus Jonan. So this wonderful guest is going to introduce herself. Her name is Ankunda Tracy Lynne. She will talk more about herself, and then we begin with the topic of the discussion. Thank you. Tracy Lynne, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Jonan. I'm very humbled that you actually already mentioned my name. But for purposes of emphasis, my name is Ankunda Tracy Lynne. I'm a Ugandan from Busheng District. I'm a member of Global Leadership Empowerment. It's one of those spaces that has really done so much work on me. It has mentored me. It has made me who I am today. So when I'm on such a space where I have to give it my ideas and views, I feel very much humbled and honored. Secondly, I'm a youth leader from Busheng District, like I said, Student Affairs, Busheng District Youth Council. I'm also a final year law student from Makerere University. And yes, I've volunteered with other spaces, Team Leader Girls and Mentorship Space, Jomas Foundation Africa, my Western FUFA delegate for the women, to be specific, and etc. So I'm very humbled to be part of this space, and mainly part of this conversation, politics and leadership, because I feel like I've actually lived through it. So something I always feel happy when I talk about. Thank you very much to host me here.
So basically, when we talk about leadership and politics, what comes to your mind, and how would you explain it to our wonderful viewers?
Thank you very much, Jonan. First of all, I feel like politics and leadership, someone could say they are intertwined, someone could say they are totally different, and someone could say there's a slight relationship between both, and someone could say there is a slight difference between both. So personally, if, for example, I'm talking about leadership, who is a leader? Most of the times we say that all politicians are leaders, but maybe not all leaders are politicians. Yes? So when you look at a leader always has a vision. I'm not saying politicians do not have, but a leader has direction, alignment, and commitment. That when you have a certain group of people that you're leading, are they able to understand the vision, the values, the principles, the mission that you aim at targeting? Because leaders are always result-oriented. You're seeing this is the challenge we have at hand, so how do we join in efforts to see it become better as a solution? So leaders always look at, they focus on having results. Unlike politicians, still on leaders, they have an alignment that with the team that you have, can they be able to believe in you? Can they be able to understand their roles in that set particular aspect or goal that you intend to achieve? And then if they are able to align themselves with you, then it becomes a smooth run in the say. And then when you look at commitment, commitment has more to do with self-belief. Me as a leader, am I able to, inform you of something? Can you trust my words? Can I be reliable to you? And so it makes it a bit more appropriate, but in the sense that when it gets to politics, you've heard of the famous sayings that politics is a dirty game. And politicians, not all politicians are leaders. A politician will come today, they'll promise you heaven and earth, they'll tell you, Tracy Lynne, this is this and this, kindly, if you vote for me. I remember there's a politician whom I will not say the name in Makerere back then. I wasn't actually at school by then, but one who promised a flyover from the university through Western Gate to Chikoni. And so that is how far a politician can go. Your term of office will get done, you've not seen that. So politicians somehow, maybe some of them tend to having a bit of the lies because they're looking at a much bigger perspective of what they want to achieve themselves. Usually they're driven by the selfish interests. Usually they're driven by, what am I going to benefit in this? Is it really my purpose? Is it a purpose that drives them? Is it domination? Do they want to dominate over others? Is it fame? Is it the goodwill really? Or is it actually the desire to see things done in society, or the desire to ensure that what society believes in or what society is yearning to have is exactly what they are getting at the say? So politicians, I remember one, I've forgotten the name, gave a highlight that it is very rare to find a prostitute who is a virgin. So in the say, I could say that politicians could be prostitutes, but becomes hard for you to find one who is actually a virgin. A virgin in the say that one who actually, what they intend to say or put out in audience is actually what they are going to achieve. Because they're looking at a bigger picture of themselves. They do not have the belief of community and socialization. Just like I cannot generalize them all, but there are those politicians that would actually be good. But then to be a leader, you do not have to have a position. It is the leadership role that you put out that actually gives you the position. But it's not the position that sets you the leadership. And most of us lose out on that. I want to say something that some time back I happened to, like my own experience from my entire law school, I was literally not so much involved into politics. But I was always a politician outside the university, outside my school, to be specific, School of Law, because currently, I didn't say I was former vice chairperson in NRM Makere chapter. So you tend to see a bit more of campaigns, a bit more of fake promises, a bit more of here and there, deception, trickery. You just can do anything. Most of them would do anything. But look at it in this perception that I'm a student, I go to law school, I do not hold any position, I do not hold any leadership position. But to me as an individual, I always feel like reaching out to people and actually getting to understand them could add something valuable to me. So I always made sure I'm able to connect with people where I can help, I do. And surprisingly, at the end of it all, I get certificates of, she's good, she's the most helpful student. But this is me who did not have a position in the first stage. So once you are a leader, there is a line between you, but then there is a connection between you and the people that you're leading. Because most of the times we tend to say that I'm a leader, but you cannot be a leader of your own self. Yes, even you yourself, you can be a leader of yourself, but purely society, how society is going to perceive you. Society is the game changer. How you help them identify the different challenges, how you help them find solutions, how you help them get on board is...
Most people in our societies, when you talk about leadership, they usually respond with an attitude of saying that is not for me. Just because they are not holding any leadership or any political position, they think they are not leaders. How do we change that narrative to prove to the people or to educate them to understand that they are leaders as well, even when they are not in any political position?
Oh, well, so I think basically that would start with mindset. I'm glad that the government is trying to instill most of those pillars, even the PDM has, mindset, but then I would also connect it with self-esteem. Because if Tracy, I cannot stand up, you see, if you don't take up these positions, leaders are influencers. That is how you're going to find the wrong people leading you. And so when the wrong people are leading you, you always be lamenting and complaining. And each and every time maybe you have a challenge, no one to reach out to. Yet you yourself can actually do it better. So I feel one is mindset change, especially the young people. We don't want to take up positions. Maybe there are some reasons. That could be bearable and understandable issues to do with finances, because nowadays elections and everything has really turned out to be monetary. But like I said, you don't need a position to be a leader. You can be a leader, you can influence community. Most of the people have gone to school now. You can be able to, can you even have these, they used to call them baraza something. Can you actually organize your community and have something small for them to listen to? You don't need money. Can it be after church? Can it be Sunday school? Can it be school time? Maybe you have a secondary school nearby you. You don't need money. This is a school where you can just walk 3 minutes to the school. But usually the low self-esteem pulls us back. And then society perception of, you see that girl, she's proud. Some of those people in the villages, she's proud. Or maybe sometimes you feel like the other one has actually more to offer than I think I should. But you forget that that little that you think is little is actually something big. It is something that someone outside is waiting to listen to, and they will change their entire life. So you as a leader, you do not need money. You might need, but I don't think that you need that. You really need to understand yourself as an individual.
Now, when you say that we can be leaders, probably one would want to ask you a question. For example, if you had a seed and you want it to germinate into a tree, probably you have to put it in the soil and you give it water and all those conditions that are necessary for germination. Now, the same way, the way we believe that we are born to be leaders and that deep inside of us is the potential to become a leader, so we also need a conducive environment for us to manifest our potential and to become what we are supposed to become. Do you think the government has provided that environment for leadership manifestation to mostly the young people?
Oh well, I think the government is doing its best, but however, not to the best as we expect it. Like I said, grooming and mentorship is part of a journey for one to be a leader. And what are those grooming spaces that we have? Education itself is a grooming space. Connecting with other people is a grooming itself. If I had not reached out to Global Leadership Empowerment, or actually I got connected through a friend called Kipeya, who was a secretary for publicity in UNSA. UNSA is a grooming space. You could hear maybe very many battles from outside, it's not doing this or it's not doing this. But there's no perfection. Society always expects perfection, but I feel like perfection is not actually not there. Even me myself, maybe I do not like this or I do not like this. Guys, you can never be perfect. So Kipeya connects me to Global Leadership Empowerment, but by then I don't think he actually connected me alone. He could have connected very many other people, but what stands out is you as an individual. Are you able to actually take on that more extra commitment? Because I know maybe there could be others who dropped off along the way because they thought it was not benefiting them. But can you see something in a broader perspective that today I'm going to do this, I'm going to Global Leadership Empowerment. I'm not only going there to learn, but even when I do not learn anything, have I been able to get a contact of another person? Can I be able to communicate with another person outside Global Leadership, but from Global Leadership itself? So the government has tried to put up spaces, leadership spaces, schools are mentorship spaces. Some of the government ministers, some of the government leaders, some of the even civil society leaders have at least tried to bridge the intergenerational spaces and gaps. I want to appreciate Rosna Mayanja, the Deputy Secretary General NRM. I believe she's one of those people who are up there, but who has not forgotten us, the younger generation. She has mentorship spaces for us young girls, and she calls you out. She gives you the best of her knowledge, not only herself, but she will even invite people from other fields to give you, maybe because sometimes you'd feel she's not maybe good enough, or maybe you'd feel maybe what she's saying is not making so much sense to you. She still goes ahead to get other people whom you'd actually believe in, because she would be an expert, but not in each and every field. So she'll bring you someone from business, she'll bring you someone from education, she'll bring you someone from entrepreneurship, someone from different spaces. So you get quite a big knowledge and big view, and then you feel there is a bit of the gap between the old and the young ceases. and then you start to aspire to be like them. Because if today I can reach out to Jonan and talk to them, honestly, tomorrow I would want to be like Jonan. So it gives you an idea that, yes, some individuals are actually up to causing change. And someone who does not consider your NRM, your FDC, whichever political party, she's willing to carry you on as their child. So government is well doing its part, but I feel like we also need to do our parts.
But on the other hand, there are cases of individuals who, when they rise up to oppose the injustices of some few politicians in government, they are threatened or mistreated or even imprisoned or killed. So don't you think that that is also a problem?
Of course, democracy in a country, I remember in a certain training, we're told that the kind of leadership that we have in Uganda is democracy per se. But of course, here and there you've had issues of, is it really democracy? Is it really not autocratic? What best can we decide, or what best can we call it? So you'd say we have it in a two format. We have maybe both, because democracy, people vote for their candidates and they go through. But then we'd also have someone who'd say, no, it is not fair. And so which tries to kind of contradict both of them. So I feel that the young people who you said per se, maybe the torture we see, some of the governments use such, but I think the young people, some of them do not use the right channels to address their challenges. What do I mean? All you think, some of them have driving forces, some of them are up to monetary gains, some of them feel they should see me. I exist in Uganda, come on, so people should know that I'm there.
They want popularity.
Yes, popularity and fame. But then we forget how dangerous sometimes it could be. You are a young person, you're still growing up, you have a lot to achieve. My only guidance would be that do possible, or do it possibly where you feel it does not affect you to the boundaries of your own self. Be smart, be conscious of yourself. Don't think that shouting and abusing and insulting is a solution. If you're claiming this is not smart, be smart enough, don't be worse. Because if you say tear gas and then now you're also moving with bottles and bumping into people's shops, then you're actually worse than that. If you're seeing things in a broader or different perspective, then try to make it work out somehow.
But there are those who genuinely, in some genuine ways, try to oppose the injustices, or either through writing, like the ones who write books. We have had such cases, someone who writes a book, but just because it is addressing the injustices of the government, they end up being threatened and tortured. So what do you think should be done by the young people? Because they really want to be great, they desire to be leaders, but then they are not being given a chance, they are not being given an opportunity for them to do what they want to do.
Now that goes back to freedom of expression. Freedom of expression is provided for in the Constitution, just like any other rights are provided for. But appearing in the Constitution and actually being upheld, to me in Uganda seems to have been the opposite. Not only the human rights, but other several rights in the Constitution. So sometimes you do this and you're allowed to proceed with your right of freedom of expression. Sometimes you do this and you're shunned down. Sometimes you keep quiet and you actually feel like, I think I should have stood up for this. This should have worked better. So to those young people, there are other avenues. We have social media pages. We have YouTube. No one is going to stop you from uploading your video on YouTube.
But we have seen bloggers being killed in some incidents.
I would want to say those are allegations. I do not really have the evidence and facts to affirm that. But speaking from my own perception, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a harsh kind of tone that you're trying to put across your message. You don't have to insult someone because you think that's the best way you can put out your information. You rubbish someone to zero. There are different avenues. You don't have to quarrel. You don't have to. You can slightly do it. You can put it in writing. You can put it. There are very many formats that you can do. I remember when someone, Seranja, was telling us when he left NBS, and the organization is working for now. He told us he had a lot of challenges where he would come up and want to talk about something and he's shunned. But you see, he's doing so well on the hard questions. This is something that is always uploaded on YouTube. Everyone can reach out there. You can watch the videos. You can get the information free of charge. Just small data or Wi-Fi. Some of you have Wi-Fi. So to me, I feel there is much more that we can beautify what we believe in than really having to have pulls, twists, stands here and there. Yes.
Yeah, remember you're watching live Kazo Television. Like I have told you, you can go to YouTube and you subscribe to Kazo Television account, and you also hit the notifications button so we can keep you updated with our wonderful programs. And now, as we come closer to the conclusion, what would be your concluding remarks? What message would you want to send to your fellow youth out there?
Well, the young people out there, we are young. We have the biggest percentage in this country. But how productive are we? Do we just have the numbers? Or do we have effective representation? Or what is actually lacking? You as an individual, the government has a role to protect you. But you as an individual, what have you done for the people in your community? Are you just sitting down and lamenting? It is obvious that the government cannot reach each and every home in this country. Very obvious. But we, in a family setting, it becomes a bit easier for us. If I can start with my family, change starts with my family. My father is someone who would believe in me. My mother is someone who would tell something and they believe in me. So if I start those small changes within the society, at a family level, and then maybe at a village level, I feel we make impact much more than. And then don't engage in things that you feel quickly, this is something that is going to get me on something. No. We have a life to live. We have so much to achieve. We are young. But this is the time that we need to build ourselves. So, young people, I would definitely say that you got this if you got it, and you must work for it, and you're better, and the future is bright. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Muchunguzi Jonan, and I want to thank you for watching Kazo Television. Continue following up programs. More are still coming. We'll meet again next week. I was with Ankunda Tracy Lynne today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.